Shalom, Kahala, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word and truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yeshua, back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. We're going to start right here. Jeremiah 50 and 9. Okay. For lo, I will raise, and this is the Most High as I, and he's saying what he's going to do. I will raise and cause to come up against America. This word Babylon is referring to Babylon the Great, all right? And in today's dispensation, this is referring to America, an assembly of great nations from the North Country, including Russia, okay? Did you see Xi and Slovakia? You got Xi and Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, right? Rallying an assembly of great nations. Look at this. You got this guy, right? And this guy. All right, so let's go back. Jeremiah. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be shaken. Who is she? Babylon, America. She shall be taken, Salah. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. What arrows? Her arrows are sharp, right? Let's go to 16 here. 9. Second Ezra 16. Okay, what are these arrows? Okay, here we are. This is Second Ezra 16 and 7. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? I'm going to jump down to 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows, let's talk about nuclear missiles, or any kind of missiles for that matter. Okay, this is talking about nukes, ICBMs. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. That's one continent to the next. It's talking about ICBMs, these particular arrows, right? Jump down to 16. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. What plagues? Okay, let's go back to arrows, all right? Their arrows, whose arrows? The north country. The assembly of great nations from the north country. We're showing them to you right here. There's one, and here's the other. Okay? Who's got arrows? Who's got the most arrows? This guy got the most arrows. Okay? And then maybe Babylon, but then this guy is what? Third? Close third? Who's got all the arrows? All right? Now back to, where were we? Okay. From thence she, Babylon, America, shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. What did we just read? None shall return in vain. Like as this is 2 Ezra 16:16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not, none shall return in vain, not backward. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. In vain, again, not return. What? Even so, the plagues. What plagues? Let's get the plagues. And this shall be the plague. Where's Zechariah? Gotta get it. Zechariah 14:12. What plagues? Let's get KJV. And this shall be the plague. What shall be the plague? And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. That's them nuclear uh, arrows. Them nuclear arrows. What does that? Those nukes. Let's get Revelation. Revelation, is it 18 or 20? 20 and 4. It's 18, let's see. Bear with me. Right here, Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. What? Receive not of her what? Plagues. That you don't get blown up. Blown up by those nuclear missiles, that you don't catch fire. Heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her. Who is her? Babylon. Babylon is fallen. You receive not of Babylon's plagues. Okay? Most High said, she shall be taken. From thence she shall be taken by them arrows, them plagues. None shall return in vain. Got it? All right, so let's get a little update here. This thing is moving nuclear. As soon as they bring the DU into the game. All right, so we're going to listen to a little bit of this, and we're going to jump up to 7:30 and close it out. All right, try to keep it short. So with that, let's listen to the voice of reason. This is Military and Foreign Affairs Network 2 hours ago. Battlefield, Ukraine, Russian troop and tank buildup. All right, incrementalism. Here we go.
Welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the war between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. Now today it's being reported that the Ukrainians have been and continue to use roughly 5,000 to 7,000 rounds of heavy artillery.
Artillery, okay? Now, when you understand artillery, okay, and the tanks that are being sent by the UK and the rounds that are being sent, okay, they're going to send depleted uranium rounds, which is going to up this level of war to a nuclear level, because DU, depleted uranium, is classified by the Russians as nuclear. So they will respond in kind, according to Vladimir Putin.
Per day against Russian forces, while the Russians are sending downrange in excess of 20,000 rounds per day. So, just to give you an idea of how large and intense this conflict is, a smaller European nation state will usually produce or obtain roughly 5 to 7,000 155 millimeter and lower artillery rounds per year. So, again, an incredible amount of ammunition is being expended by the Ukrainian military, as is Russian forces as well. The amount of ammunition that is being used by the Ukrainians exceeds the production capacity that Western nations are able to supply the Ukrainians. So if the Ukrainians continue at this current tempo of 5 to 7 rounds per day, again, at a certain point, unless production in the West is vastly increased, we are going to see a slowdown in the amount of rounds the Ukrainians are going to be able to fire against Russian forces. And we're already starting to see that. In certain sectors of the conflict, the Ukrainians simply don't have any more ammunition. Now, with that being said, we continue to see this very large buildup of Russian forces. We continue to see the Russians also making advances in the area near Seversk, northeast of Seversk, and due north of Seversk. And I've talked about this again in those previous episodes where we think there is a opportunity for Russian forces to execute a possible large-scale maneuver operation late summer, against this pocket that continues to form around Seversk. I mean, we continue to look at what is happening in Bakhmut, and obviously that continues. Now, the majority of the Russian forces that are engaged near Bakhmut are these Wagner forces, private military contractors. But to the north of Bakhmut, you have regular Russian military, and you have a multitude of Russian divisions. And we're going to use this deep state map today just to kind of see what Russian forces are building up in this area. And obviously, before we looked at what the Ukrainians had near Seversk, and it's essentially a army corps, an army group of about 10 brigades in and around Seversk, if not more. The Russians, if we look at this in terms of, you have the 237th Airborne Assault Regiment. That's a component, that's an element of the 76th Airborne Division, Air Assault Division of the Russian VDV. The 230, again, that's an element of the 76th Division.
All right, so we'll go ahead and end it right there. You get the point. Well, let me see. I wanted to move up to like 7. Where are we at? Slovakia, bear with me.
Advertising.
Bear with me. Let me see how close we are, because I'll go ahead and end this. Let's see. We are at 4. Let me move it to 7:30, because he picks up. We'll move it right here. And we'll let him speak. Let's see where they're at. Bear with me as this thing buffers. Come on now. Or maybe not.
Ew.
Okay, here we go. Come on now. Come on, Satan. This isn't that bad.
And I would say at this point, all signs lead to this Seversk pocket. and again, possibly forcing their way. It would be on the left Ukrainian flank to then envelop Ukrainian forces, probably moving in a south by southwesterly direction to get behind Seversk and then eventually meet up with Russian forces that are pushing out of Krasnohora in this area as well. So you can see those units: 123rd Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade, 4th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade, 10th Artillery Brigade.
So as you can see, this is just, little this is his perspective, the voice of reason, on the maneuvering that's going on, and it's slow going. He's talking about going into the summer. They're waiting for the ground to dry up and da 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 da, and all of these things that make war actually happen. But I mean, this is tanks and mortars and small arms, basically, right? When do they step it up? Because they're doing things like flying bombers, nuclear bombers, in each other's territory and threatening to shoot them down. And there's supposed to be an offensive coming up where the Ukraine, if you will, suddenly goes into what is it down here? The little island. I can't think of it right now. So yeah, between that and DU, this thing is going to escalate quickly. And little things like this, right? Crimea is what I'm talking about now. Because as soon as they go into Crimea, that's a red line, according to Vlad, right? Crimea is a red line. Depleted uranium is a red line. And what is America doing? They're pushing the envelope. This war is not okay. This war is not the Ukraine against the Russians. The Ukrainians are the Russians. The Ukrainians speak Russian. Okay, half of them speak Russian, half of them speak Ukrainian. I'm talking about the Ukrainians. All right, they're the same people, but the Americans are over there using them as a proxy. All right, and here's what the Bible said: judgment on Babylon. Babylon is not the Ukraine. Babylon is America. If they would have said the EU, which is the beast, right? NATO and the EU, that's different. But Babylon represents the US. Okay? So when it says she, right? Let's see. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. She, her, your pronouns. From thence, she, her, who is her? Her is Babylon. Who is Babylon? Babylon is America. She is her, and her is Babylon, and Babylon is America. Okay? So when you understand this, right? And all Chaldea shall be a spoil, all that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. Okay? Let's get I shall raise. Okay? I shall stir up. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon. This is God speaking. What? An assembly of great nations, starting with Russia from the north country. All right? The Most High is the one doing this. So if he's raising to come up against Babylon, who does he want to win? Whoever he's raising up. Okay, whoever he's stirring up. I will stir up the Medes. Isaiah 13:17. Behold, there's God again, will stir up the Russians against them. Them, who's them? Oh, America. Okay? And this is what we're watching. And it's a beautiful story. To know what is going on and to see it happening in real time is just an awesome thing. Call Halav Yehalbashim Yahshabashim Takadash. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect were edified, you brothers and few sisters. With that, we can say Shalom.